Every year, millions of people set resolutions to transform their lives, yet almost 80% of us will have given up on those resolutions by February. It's not just about a lack of willpower or resources. It's often because our own habits silently dictate our daily actions and, ultimately, our destinies. Today, we're diving deep into the heart of what keeps us from achieving the lives we dream of, and how embracing the timeless wisdom of Stoicism can not only change your habits, but can genuinely transform your entire approach to life. Stoicism teaches us to focus on what we can control and let go of what we cannot, a powerful mindset that is especially crucial when trying to break free from the habits that hold us back. So, if you're ready to take control of your actions and align your daily habits with your deepest values, stick around. Together, we'll explore how to harness your inner strength and cultivate a life of purpose and tranquility. This isn't just about breaking bad habits, it's about building a life where peace and progress coexist. Don't forget to hit that subscribe button. It's your support that allows us to keep bringing transformative content like this to you. And remember, you're not the majority, you're the exception, so make sure you watch every part of this video to harness the unique insights that can truly elevate your life. Number 1. Worrying about things out of your control. It's incredibly easy to get caught up in the whirlwind of things that are beyond our control. When you're lying awake at night, your mind racing with all sorts of what-ifs about events that haven't happened yet, or that you can't change, like worrying about the future of your job, the economy, or even fretting over other people's opinions. It's exhausting and, frankly, draining. This habit of preoccupation with uncontrollable factors is not just a thief of joy, but also of our precious time and energy. Stoicism teaches us the art of differentiation, recognizing what is in our control and what is not. The Stoics, like Marcus Aurelius or Seneca, remind us that while we can't control external events, we can control our reactions to them. They advise us to direct our efforts and focus only on our own actions, choices, and attitudes. So, instead of spending hours worrying about the next big storm or a friend's opinion, Stoicism nudges us to ask, what can I actually do about this situation? Often the answer is to prepare rather than panic. If it's a storm, we can secure our homes the best we can. If it's opinions, we can work on being true to ourselves and acting with integrity. By shifting our focus from what's out of our hands to what we can influence, we not only regain a sense of control, but also become more effective and calm. This Stoic practice doesn't just reduce stress. It increases our capacity for resilience, enabling us to handle challenges with grace and composure. It's about embracing what we can change and finding peace with what we can't, which is not only wise, but also incredibly empowering. Remember, every moment spent worrying about the uncontrollable is a moment lost. Those moments could be invested in actions that enhance our lives and the lives of others. Harness this Stoic wisdom and watch as your life transforms from a series of worries about the unknown to a more focused, intentional, and peaceful journey. Number 2. Overcommitting yourself. Ever found yourself swamped under a mountain of commitments, feeling stretched thin across your professional and personal life? It happens to the best of us. We say yes to just about everything because we often feel an inner pressure to be involved, to contribute, or simply because we fear missing out. This tendency to overcommit isn't just about having a full schedule. It's about draining ourselves to the point where nothing gets the full attention or energy it deserves. Stoicism teaches us about the virtue of moderation and the importance of focusing on what truly matters. Seneca often discussed the value of time and advised against giving it away carelessly. He believed in the importance of guarding one's time, for it's the one resource we can never get back. So, how do we apply this to our habit of overcommitting? It starts by taking a deliberate approach to our obligations. Before saying yes to another task, project or social event, we need to pause and consider whether it aligns with our core values and life goals. Will this commitment serve a meaningful purpose, or will it simply add to the noise of an already overcrowded schedule? By being selective with our commitments, we create space in our lives for activities that are truly enriching and aligned with our personal and professional growth. This doesn't mean we become rigid and inflexible, but rather that we learn to say no with the same conviction with which we say yes. This selective approach not only reduces stress, but also allows us to give our best where it truly counts. Managing our commitments wisely is a form of self-respect. It shows that we value our own resources, time, energy, focus, and are not willing to squander them. As Stoics, we strive to live intentionally, making decisions that reflect our philosophy of life. Every yes and no is a statement of our priorities and an exercise in thoughtful living. Number 3. Procrastination. It's that all too familiar habit of pushing things off to later, often for no other reason than not feeling in the mood to tackle them now. It seems harmless at first. After all, isn't there always more time? But as deadlines draw nearer, the stress mounts, and suddenly, what could have been a manageable task turns into a frantic race against the clock. It's not just about missing deadlines. Procrastination can erode our self-esteem and keep us from realizing our full potential. The Stoics were big on doing what needs to be done, when it needs to be done, because they understood the value of the present moment, the only moment we truly have control over. Marcus Aurelius often emphasized the importance of action. He believed in seizing the moment and using it wisely, not squandering it on trivialities or delaying necessary actions. Procrastination is essentially a misalignment of our actions with our true intentions. It's a discrepancy between what we aim to do and what we actually do. The Stoic approach to combat this is straightforward. Align your actions with your rational decision-making. This means when you decide something needs to be done, the next step is to simply start. Action breeds more action. By initiating even the smallest task related to your goal, you create momentum, making it easier to continue. Another Stoic strategy is to break tasks into smaller, more manageable parts. Seneca advised focusing on the present task only, without being overwhelmed by the entire project. By dividing a daunting task into smaller pieces, each step becomes less intimidating and more actionable. This method reduces the anxiety that often triggers procrastination. Stoicism teaches acceptance of discomfort. The discomfort of starting a challenging task often fuels procrastination. By accepting that some discomfort is part of the process and pushing through it, you reclaim power over your actions. This is where the Stoic practice of voluntary discomfort can be particularly beneficial. It trains you to be comfortable with the uncomfortable, making you more resilient and proactive. Tackling procrastination is about embracing the Stoic virtues of discipline and courage. The discipline to do what is necessary even when it is unpleasant, and the courage to begin without guarantee of success. Every moment you choose action over delay, you are not only getting closer to your goals, but also developing a stronger, more disciplined character. Number 4. Neglecting self-care. Isn't it strange how often we put our own well-being on the back burner? Whether it's skipping meals to meet a deadline, sacrificing sleep to binge-watch a series, or neglecting exercise because our schedule is too packed. Neglecting self-care has almost become the norm in our hustle culture. But at what cost? This habit of constantly putting ourselves last can lead to a host of health problems, both mental and physical, and diminishes our overall quality of life. Stoicism actually places a significant emphasis on self-care. Contrary to some misconceptions, Stoics aren't about denying pleasure or enduring hardship unnecessarily. They believe in maintaining a sound mind and body to perform one's duties effectively. The philosopher Epictetus remarked that it is foolish to want your affairs to go well, but not your body, highlighting that good health is a form of duty to oneself. In Stoic terms, neglecting self-care is akin to neglecting your role in the universe. Each of us has responsibilities to others and ourselves. When we fail to care for our own needs, we diminish our capacity to fulfill those responsibilities effectively. Taking care of oneself isn't just about personal health. It's about empowering ourselves to contribute positively to our world. So how do we weave self-care into our daily lives? It starts with recognizing that self-care isn't selfish. It's necessary. This means setting boundaries and saying no when additional commitments threaten to overload our ability to care for ourselves. It involves prioritizing activities that nourish us, not just physically, but also mentally and spiritually. Whether it's taking 20 minutes to meditate, going for a walk, or ensuring we get enough sleep, these aren't luxuries, they are essentials. Stoicism teaches the practice of reflection, which can be a valuable tool for self-care. By regularly reflecting on our day, our feelings and our reactions, we can identify areas where we might be neglecting our well-being. This reflective practice helps us stay aligned with our core values, ensuring that our actions and choices promote health and vitality. Incorporating self-care into your life is about creating a sustainable way of living that respects your human limitations and values your worth. Remember, you cannot pour from an empty cup. By taking care of yourself, you ensure that you have the energy, health, and peace of mind to face whatever challenges come your way and live in accordance with your principles. Number 5. Not living in the present. It's all too common to find ourselves either chained to the memories of the past or lost in the dreams of the future, isn't it? While reminiscing about good times or planning for a brighter tomorrow isn't inherently harmful, obsessively living in any time, but the present can rob us of genuine happiness and fulfillment in our current moments. When we're constantly elsewhere in our thoughts, life, beautiful, fleeting life, just passes us by. Stoicism, an ancient philosophy that has seen a resurgence in modern times, teaches us the invaluable skill of presence. Stoics believe that the present is the only reality we can truly influence and experience. Marcus Aurelius often wrote about the importance of focusing on the present task and detaching from past and future events that distract from our immediate duties and joys. Now you might ask, how does one practice being present? It begins with awareness, being conscious of when your mind wanders into the past or skips ahead to the future. Whenever you catch yourself doing this, gently guide your focus back to the now. This isn't about suppression or denial of your thoughts, but rather steering them in a way that serves you right here, right now. Meditation and mindfulness are tools that can enhance our ability to remain present. These practices teach us to observe our thoughts and emotions without attachment, allowing us to experience the present moment fully. They aren't just trendy techniques, but are practical Stoic exercises that strengthen our mental resilience and focus. Living in the present also involves appreciating the small things. It's about noticing the warmth of the sun on your skin, the taste of your morning coffee, the laughter of a loved one, experiences that are easy to overlook when your mind is elsewhere. By savoring the mundane, you transform it into something profound, enriching your daily life in ways that regret and anxiety never could. Stoicism doesn't just advocate for being present. It also emphasizes that we should act in the present with virtue and reason. This means making choices and taking actions aligned with our core values and rational understanding, thereby making the most of the present opportunities. By practicing presence, not only do we enhance our own lives, but we also improve the lives of those around us. When we are fully present, we listen better, perform better, and interact more genuinely. We become active participants in our lives rather than passive observers. Number 6. Engaging in negative self-talk. How often do we find ourselves caught in a spiral of negative self-talk? It's incredibly easy to become our own harshest critic, isn't it? This might manifest as a little voice inside your head that whispers, "You're not good enough," or as a mental replay of mistakes, each time with harsh self-judgment. Engaging in negative self-talk not only undermines our confidence, but also impacts our ability to pursue and achieve our goals. It's a habit that feeds doubt and insecurity, blocking us from realizing our full potential. Stoicism, a philosophy that teaches the mastery over one's thoughts and emotions, offers a powerful antidote to this destructive habit. Stoics believe in the concept of rationality and control over one's inner discourse. Epictetus, a prominent Stoic philosopher, argued that it's not events themselves that disturb people, but their judgments about them. This insight is particularly useful when dealing with negative self-talk. It implies that by changing our judgments, we can change our emotional responses. To start transforming this habit, first, become mindful of your inner dialogue. Notice when you are being self-critical and what you are saying to yourself. Is it something you would ever say to a friend? Often, the answer is no. Stoicism teaches us to treat ourselves with the same compassion and understanding that we would extend to others. By acknowledging that these harsh self-criticisms are neither helpful nor constructive, we can begin to challenge and change them. Adopting a more stoic approach involves reframing these negative thoughts. For instance, instead of telling yourself, "I always mess up," you could say, "I made a mistake this time, but I can learn from it." This isn't about denying your feelings or mistakes, but about addressing them in a more constructive and compassionate way. It's about guiding yourself toward improvement and growth without the weight of unnecessary self-judgment. Moreover, Stoicism encourages the practice of self-reflection, which can be a useful tool in combating negative self-talk. Regular reflection helps you to understand your thoughts and behaviors better, enabling you to identify patterns of negativity. With this understanding, you can actively work on shifting towards more positive and supportive self-talk, aligning your thoughts with your values and objectives. Remember that engaging in positive self-talk is a skill that requires practice. Just as negative patterns were learned, positive ones can be cultivated. With consistent effort and the rational, balanced perspective of Stoicism, you can gradually transform the way you talk to yourself. This shift not only boosts your mental well-being, but also enhances your resilience, enabling you to meet life's challenges with a more stable and supportive mindset. Number 7. Avoiding change. Change, it's inevitable, right? Yet for many of us, the very thought of change can be daunting. It brings uncertainty, the unknown, and often a fair bit of discomfort. But avoiding change is like trying to stop the seasons from shifting. It's not only futile, but it also deprives us of new experiences and growth opportunities. After all, if everything remained constant, where would the space for improvement or excitement be? Stoicism teaches us to not only accept change, but to welcome it as a natural part of life. Stoics like Seneca and Marcus Aurelius emphasized the impermanence of all things and encouraged us to adapt to changing circumstances with grace and composure. They believed that our reactions to change, rather than change itself, are within our control. This perspective is incredibly liberating because it shifts the focus from fearing change to managing our response to it. One way to start becoming more comfortable with change is to reframe how we view it. Instead of seeing change as a threat, we can view it as a chance to test our resilience and adaptability. Key virtues in Stoicism. Every new situation is a lesson in disguise, offering us the chance to practice patience, determination, and perhaps above all, courage. Furthermore, Stoicism teaches us to anticipate change, not as a pessimist would, but in a balanced, forward-thinking manner. This practice, known as premeditatio malorum, the premeditation of evils, involves visualizing potential challenges and setbacks as a way of preparing oneself mentally. It's not about dwelling on the negative, but about being equipped mentally to handle whatever life throws your way. Engaging with change also involves stepping out of your comfort zone and into what could be a transformative experience. It's about making a conscious decision to pursue growth over comfort. Each time you embrace a change, you build a little more confidence, a little more resilience. You learn that you can handle more than you thought, and this knowledge is empowering. Moreover, avoiding change can often lead to stagnation, both personally and professionally. By embracing change, you keep moving forward, evolving, and adapting. This is crucial not only for personal development, but also for maintaining relevance and effectiveness in our ever-changing world. Number 8. Holding grudges. This is something we've all done at some point, right? Someone wrongs us, and we can't seem to shake off the hurt or betrayal. We replay the incident over and over, each time fueling the anger and resentment that sit heavy in our hearts. It feels justifiable. It feels like we're holding the other person accountable. But if we're honest, holding grudges is often more harmful to us than to the person who wronged us. It's like carrying a weight that continually burdens our spirits and clouds our days. In Stoicism, there is a strong emphasis on controlling what's within our power, our thoughts and reactions. Stoic philosophers like Marcus Aurelius would argue that holding grudges is an unnecessary waste of mental energy. He believed that we should focus on our own actions and responses rather than harboring negative feelings about things we cannot change. The past, after all, is not within our control. What is in our control is how we choose to respond to the past in the present moment. To break free from the cycle of resentment, Stoicism teaches us to practice forgiveness. This doesn't mean condoning the wrong or pretending it never happened. Rather, it's about releasing yourself from the emotional bondage that ties you to the person and the incident. Forgiveness is a gift you give yourself, a declaration that you are not defined by the hurts inflicted upon you. Furthermore, Stoicism encourages us to see adversity, including the actions of others, as an opportunity for personal growth. Every incident that might initially seem worthy of a grudge is also an opportunity to practice virtues such as patience, tolerance, and understanding. It's about reframing the situation from being a victim of circumstance to being a student of life. Another Stoic practice that can help manage the tendency to hold grudges is the concept of viewing others with empathy and understanding. Everyone has their struggles, and sometimes these struggles lead people to act in hurtful ways. By trying to understand the context of others' actions, we can sometimes find reasons not to take those actions personally. This doesn't excuse their behavior, but it helps us maintain our peace and keep our emotional energy directed towards more positive pursuits. Holding on to grudges is also a form of denying the impermanence of life, another concept Stoicism teaches us to accept. People change, situations evolve, and holding on to past grievances can keep us stuck while the rest of the world moves forward. By letting go, we open ourselves up to new experiences and interactions, free from the shadow of past hurts. Number 9. Comparing yourself to others. Have you ever found yourself scrolling through social media, looking at someone else's highlight reel, and suddenly feeling like your own life doesn't quite measure up? Or maybe you've caught yourself eyeing a colleague's rapid career advancement and wondered why you aren't moving at the same pace. Comparing ourselves to others is a habit that's almost as old as time, but in today's hyper-connected world, it's become more intense and constant than ever before. This constant comparison can trigger feelings of inadequacy, jealousy, and a perpetual sense of chasing after something that always seems just out of reach. Stoicism, a philosophy that emphasizes the importance of focusing on what we can control and letting go of what we cannot, offers valuable insights into how we can navigate and ultimately overcome the habit of comparing ourselves to others. The Stoics would argue that such comparisons are not only unhelpful, but are also outside the sphere of what we can directly control. According to them, our attention should be focused inward on our own efforts and virtues, rather than outward in envy or resentment. To start changing this habit, Stoicism teaches us to turn our focus back to ourselves and our own progress. Each individual's life and circumstances are unique, filled with different challenges and paths. As the Stoic philosopher Epictetus pointed out, if you are constantly looking at others to measure your worth, you are diverting attention away from your own moral improvement. Instead, we should concentrate on our personal development and celebrate our individual achievements, no matter how small they may seem in comparison to others. Another Stoic strategy involves practicing gratitude for what we already have. This helps shift our mindset from one of scarcity and competition to one of abundance and appreciation. When we're grateful, we're affirming that our own life is valuable and rich with its own successes and lessons, making the allure of others' lives less captivating. Moreover, Stoicism encourages us to view others' successes not as a benchmark for what we lack, but as inspirations for what is possible. Instead of feeling threatened by the achievements of others, we can choose to see them as reminders of human potential, including our own. This shift in perspective not only alleviates feelings of jealousy, but also fosters a sense of community and shared human endeavor. It's important to remember that everyone has their own struggles and difficulties, regardless of how perfect their lives may seem from the outside. Recognizing this can help us feel a greater sense of connection to others, reducing feelings of isolation that often accompany comparisons. Number 10. Ignoring your finances. Isn't it intriguing how often we put off dealing with our finances? Maybe it's because the topic can feel overwhelming or perhaps a bit tedious. Ignoring financial responsibilities, however, can lead to significant stress and restrict our ability to make choices that align with our values and goals. Financial health isn't just about having enough money to cover your needs. It's about ensuring that your economic decisions support your overall well-being and personal aspirations. From a Stoic perspective, managing our finances wisely is part of living a virtuous life. Stoicism teaches us to apply reason and discipline in all areas of life, including our finances. The Stoics believed in living according to nature, which includes using resources wisely and planning for the future responsibly. By gaining control over our finances, we are not only securing our future, but also exercising financial freedom. Freedom from anxiety about unexpected expenses and freedom to make choices that enrich our lives. Let's consider practical ways to take charge of our financial health. First, It involves being aware of our current financial state. This means regularly checking and understanding where our money is going, what are our major sources of spending, and where we can save. It might not be the most thrilling activity, but gaining this clarity is empowering and can relieve much of the anxiety associated with financial uncertainty. Second, setting up a budget is crucial. A budget isn't just a series of spending limits, it's a reflection of your priorities and values. It helps ensure that your money is being spent in ways that align with your long-term goals, whether that's saving for a home, investing in education, or securing a comfortable retirement. Stoicism doesn't advocate for a life of austerity, but for a life where resources are used wisely and purposefully. Stoicism teaches us to prepare for the future by contemplating potential difficulties. This can be directly applied to financial planning. By setting aside savings and planning for emergencies, we are practicing a form of Stoic discipline and precaution. This not only prepares us for unexpected financial demands, but also instills a sense of security and peace. Understanding that wealth is not a good in itself, but a tool for achieving stability and fulfilling duties, can reshape our approach to money. Stoicism encourages us to view wealth as something that should serve greater purposes, such as supporting family, contributing to community, or advancing personal growth initiatives. This view helps us avoid the trap of materialism, where the pursuit of money becomes an end in itself, often leading to dissatisfaction and relentless stress. Thank you for joining me today on this journey toward greater self-awareness and mastery over our habits. Remember, every step you take towards overcoming these common pitfalls is a step towards a more tranquil and empowered life. If you're eager to dive deeper into how Stoic wisdom can transform other areas of your life, check out the suggested video on your screen. Let's continue to grow together in wisdom and virtue. Thank you for being a part of our Stoic Journal community. Until next time, live well and think deeply.